up everyone, what's going on? Good morning and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to the final day, the final race here in Belgium. Today we're in the town of Maria. We're racing a 1.12A crit today, which basically means UCI Continental team can do it, so it's probably going to be quite a hard race today. There's about 100 guys on the start list. We're also a man down right now. Will, I think he ate something funny yesterday. He got sick last night. He was up all night, being sick, and he had a fever and stomach cramps and all that nasty stuff. So he's not racing today. As you can imagine, it's just me and Ollie flying the flag for St. Piran today. Neither of us have done this circuit before, so with no idea what is ahead of us. But yeah, we're going to give it a good crack. I think we're both feeling it. Ollie more so than me because he's done 4 full races right now, so we'll see how we go. How are the pins?
Stale. Bit stale. Is that the right word?
We'll go with it.
Bit sore, yeah.
Right.
But I've got the glasses on for Will today. Rest in peace.
Yeah, we got Ollie's repping Will's glasses.
Rest in peace, Willie rides one.
Pour one out for the homie that didn't make it.
Can't wait, box out. There's only more I've got.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final race of 2019. Wow, it feels pretty mental that I'm actually saying that, because this year has just flown by. Like, I don't know if any of you feel like the same way, but to me, 2019 has literally flown by. Like, it does not feel like it should be the off season already, but it is. And this was the last race of the, well, I mean, not my off season, but it doesn't feel like this should be my last race of the season. I've still got a few more cycling events coming up in the near future, but not races. More on that soon. But anyway, guys, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I'm back in the office because at the time of editing this video, I spent today traveling home, so that's why this video is going to be late up. If you're watching it as it goes live, I'm sorry that it's late. I'm sorry. I've just driven for 10 hours in my car, so I'm trying to rush to get this edited as quickly as possible, but I'm back home now, so in tomorrow's vlog, I'm going to be back home. I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys right now. Today I didn't feel great, my legs didn't feel great, so I just wanted to get stuck in as much as possible, and here we are. 3 minutes and 23 seconds into the race. As you can see, there's an attack down the left hand side. Ollie's in front of me. I'm straight onto Ollie's wheel. At this point, it's quite a windy part of the course, I guess. There's a bit of a crosswind, so that's why it's lined out down the left hand side, and everyone's fighting for the inside line. And we just basically continue this effort, and I don't really think much of it. I don't think it's going to get away, because yeah, all right, we're riding fast. The power is nice and high, but it's at the start of the race and everyone's fresh. But it's around this point, I look back, or one of the guys shouts, I don't think I look back, and one of the guys shouted that we've got a gap, and that's why Ollie comes to the front now and absolutely rips it, and he's doing, look, I'm doing 400-500 watts on his wheel. He looks back, sees that we've got a gap, he shouts to me that we've got a gap, and we start riding effing hard. Because this is what, like I said in yesterday's video, this is what these races are all about. You're in the crosswinds, suddenly there's a split, next thing you know, you've got a 5-second gap, and that, the guys behind can't close the gap. So we realised early on we got a good gap, and there's about 8 of us in this group, so it's a perfect sized little group, as you can see the guys rolling through right now. And everyone's committed to this. Apart from that guy, just literally swung off straight away. But hey, I'm not gonna call people out. I'm not gonna call people out. So yeah, we realised we've got a gap. I'm jumping back on the wheel. Okay, maybe there's less than 8. There's what, 6, 7 guys. And we think, right, we've got a little bit of a crack here. 5 minutes into the race, and the brake's going first lap, and this race is going to be 120 kilometers. So I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm in for a hard ride today. This ain't gonna be a pleasant race. As you can see, we are fully committed to this. I'm doing 450, 500 watts there, and everyone's starting to roll through and take turns, because this is what it's about. It's about making the most of opportunity. Like, you gotta, with Belgian commerce races, like, the opportunities don't just, like, things don't just happen out of luck. You got to create your own luck with these races most of the time, from my experience. And you gotta force the race, and the race doesn't necessarily come to you. You've got to sort of give it to the race. So we're away here. We've got a nice little gap of about 5 or 10 seconds, and we're all riding full gas. You can see my heart rate there is 178. It's been it was higher than that before. Keeping my cadence nice and high, and I'm suffering now. Like, I can feel it in my legs. I'm thinking, I'm hoping this is gonna you know, if we get a gap, I'm hoping this is going to sort of ease off for a little bit, because 6 minutes into the race, yeah, I had a warm-up, but my legs were a little bit cooked there. I'm just there trying to avoid the ridge of death in the middle of the road. So yeah, I mean, we're away for a few minutes, but you know, I'm gonna skip ahead until the point where we get caught. So we're at 6 minutes 34, and we've been away for a few minutes, and at this point the group sits on my wheel. So I do the usual tactic of continue pressing on a little bit. All right, I'm freewheeling now, but for principle, tap on a little bit and just let that gap to Wally go. So he's still away with one other rider, and I was just trying to force that move or give him a little bit of a soft break to get into. But I mean, look, the issue is, yeah, you might get a 10-second gap in the first 5 minutes of the race, but because it's the start of the race, everyone's obviously fresh, and everyone is jumping on your wheel, and everyone is willing to shut the gaps because you're fresh. Simple as that, right? Simple as that. I guess if we'd have done that, if we'd have had that same power and strength and intensity at 1 hour 30 of the race, maybe the gap wouldn't have been shut, or maybe it wouldn't have been shut so quick, because the guys behind are starting to get fatigued, they're starting to cramp a little bit, they're starting to just, churn a bigger gear, and so on and so forth. So basically, I'm just back in the line now. That effort took a lot out of my legs, and I'm just thinking about how I can save as much energy as possible, which, as you can see by my power right there, doing 600 watts, I ain't really saving that much energy. And that's what I've noticed in these races, because you're in these open fields, you've got the wind coming from the side, there's not a whole lot of draft. So when you're even on the wheels, when it's lined out, and when the riders are going hard, you're still doing nearly as many watts as the rider in front of you, right? You're still doing 500 watts. And as you can see, there's guys jumping down the right hand side right there. I think Ollie's just jumped away. I decided to jump on this lad's wheel, and basically it was just a simple case of little speed bump there. It's a simple case of attacks and counterattacks and counterattacks. Now this course was quite a technical course. As you can see by the map on the left hand side, it was sort of like a figure of eight. So it wasn't just a standard circle or a standard square or a rectangle or whatever. It was a figure of eight, which means there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 or 8 corners on this race. That in front of me, that is Mario Williams, king of Belgian commerce racing. Anyway, I digress. It's another case of out the corners at 1,000 watts, out of the saddle. There's no real smooth, fluid corners. Everyone's always attacking. There's Ollie coming back in after another attack, and it's basically the strongest man wins, and who's able to go and go and go. And given my recent form, I ain't part of that. So I spent a couple of laps riding around in the bunch. It's fast racing. The break hadn't gone yet, so everyone's still attacking, and the pace is really on. And at this point, I mean, my lap time is just blank at the minute, and I'm not too sure why, but we've done about 32 minutes. I think I remember looking out at 32 minutes. You can just see the bunch ahead. They'd just gone. We came out of a sharp right hand corner. I let the wheel go, and I just didn't have the gas to get back onto that wheel. Maybe the earlier brake cooked my legs. Maybe that's what did it, or the previous day's racing. The day previous was the first Comess this year, the first full distance Comess that I got round this year. So I think that just took a lot out of my legs. And as you can see, the back markers are coming flying past me. They're chasing the wheels. They're trying to get back into the group. But I just call it a day right there. I just didn't have the fight, the mental fight to hold those wheels whilst I was suffering so much. So I just let the wheel go. And as you can see, there's the ambulance, which is like the broom wagon, is all coming past me. And that, my friends, was my race. Was my race over?
All right, chaps. That is 2019. Done and dusted. Certainly wanted more than 32 minutes of my last race, but hey, such is life. It's a hard course today. Very exposed in places, and when you find yourself, down the line at the back, and the splits appearing in front of you, you know you're in a bad place. But yeah, I mean, if I was better, I would have been higher up the line and then inevitably in front of those splits, but wasn't to beat today. That looks like the Trek Segafredo service course. That's pretty cool. Perhaps I spent a few too many pennies in that early break. or even just getting around yesterday's race. Either way, I pulled the pin out about half an hour. I'm just rolling around one more lap to spin out the legs and then we'll go and watch Ollie. It's actually like a bit of a moment, you know, thinking back, like that's the season, man, the season's done and dusted. Like I've got no more racing, that is it. You know, when we look back, it's been, you know, when I think back to like Zwift racing from December and January to racing in Vendée in France in February, to then like the Tour, to then like the early season races in the UK in March and April, the Tour series in May, then on to the National Road series, then the National Crit series, combine that with a couple of trips abroad and everything else in between of all of that. Like yeah man, that's it. 2019 done and dusted, over and out. I think my highlight, my initial, there's the peloton riding through right now, was getting second up at Durham Tour Series. But you know, we've had a few decent results. I'd have liked to have got a few more wins, but again, that's life. Yeah, time to just take some time to rest up now and just chill out and completely kind of put cycling or put racing to one side, and you know, sit down and have a think of what I want to do next year and start working towards some new goals in 2020. But guys, thank you for supporting the journey and the movement, and just, yeah man, investing in everything that I'm doing. It genuinely means the world to me. So yeah, thank you. And there's the rest. Oh, that was Ollie. Yeah, that was Ollie. That was Ollie. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Ollie. Still in the bunch. Oh, he's attacking. Go on boy, go on boy, get up there. There's a big group of about 20 guys, about 30 or 40 seconds up the road, so there's a long time to go to race. There's a long time to go that could definitely come back. So we'll stay tuned and we'll see how Ollie gets on for his final race of the season. And hopefully, I mean, it's already going better than mine, but hopefully he does better than, I don't even know what I'm saying. Hopefully they catch the front group and hopefully he does well. That'll do. All right, here's Ollie in a chase group of about 15 maybe. They're about a minute behind the leaders. They are actually closing the gap. They're about a minute behind and they've got about 60k to go. So it is possible and it is doable to bring that gap back. I legit just passed Ollie a bottle up at about 30 miles per hour. And I think that was one of the most scary things I think I've ever done. Like, it just almost ripped my arm off. I mean, 30 mile an hour is quite a fast speed, but you know, it's nothing out of the ordinary for like a normal Swanee to pass a bottle up at that speed. And I grab bottles at that speed all the time, but when you're actually holding a bottle and you're the one under pressure to hold that bottle nice and firmly for Ollie to grab, that was quite scary, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so it looks like it's kicking off right now. This is the front group. This is the breakaway, or yeah, I guess the front split of about 12 riders, I reckon. Man, it's splitting up quite a lot right now. Attacks are going left, right and centre. Let's see what the gap is back to Ollie's group. Go on, it's coming down! All right, 3 laps to go for Ollie's group right now. The gap is holding at about a minute. There he is. Sat at the back. I think he's starting to get tired now. 3 laps to go means they have about 20k to go now, so not too far until the finish. All right, so this lad that's away solo is called Sam Culverwell, and absolutely fair play to him. He's a young British lad. Whether he gets caught or not by the group behind, he's putting in one hell of an effort, man. He's on the last lap. And he's away solo. He's got about a 30 or 40 second gap, I think. There's the rider coming through right now. About 40 seconds. Come on, mate. And here comes Ollie for the last lap. Go on, bloody send it! I think that the lone leader Sam has a pretty good chance of staying away, man. And if he does, like, absolutely fair play to him, because those guys are racing and they're chasing behind, like chasing hard. And he's just holding a gap for like 40 seconds, and he's been away from about 5 laps to go. It's going to be so close. Absolutely fair play to this guy though. What an effort, man. What an absolute effort. Whoa. Look how close it was on the line, man. Literally about a second in it. What an effort. Here comes Ollie. I reckon he's got a top 15 in him if he gets on these boys. Go on, Ollie! Sprint, let's sprint! Good effort, man. Good effort. And now, standard practice, spending all of his prize money in the service station on the way home.
Big 12 euros.
How much is that much you won?
Big 12.
For what? What position was it in the end?
Second.
A solid 12 euros. That's not going to get you much in a service station, buddy.
Give me a few beers, won't it?
Maybe a bottle of water?
A bottle of water, a few beers.
Oh, this is getting quite dangerous. An M&M's pick and mix type thing, and then a Haribo pick and mix. I think we need to get out of it before we spend. We need to get out of it before we spend all of our money on this. They do look good though. You did get a beer in the end, mate.
Special.
Last race of the season.
Lambs be proud.
Leave me hanging then, why don't you? So we drove back to the accommodation right now, here we are. Had a quick shower and we're heading straight back out because the time is like 7:30, the sun is setting. Me and Ollie are both hungry, we want to go and get some food. Will's going to stay here just because he's still not feeling good. So me and Ollie are going to head into town because it's our last night in Belgium. And when you're in Belgium, it is a tradition. You've got to have Fritz and mayo. So we're going to go into town, try and find a nice little Fritz bar and get ourselves some Fritz. It did not take long to find a Fritz place. We came to the town of Newport and we have found Albert's Fritter. Show me what food you have and get inside me.
Nice thing, me gypsy.
Mr. Albert, we are leaving you empty-handed. We were waiting there for about 20 minutes and the queue was outside, or almost outside the door, and it was not going down very much, so we're leaving empty-handed. We're gonna try and find another one though. It shouldn't be too hard to find. All right guys, we found a little fritter place. This little restaurant type thing going on. We got a large Fritz with ketchup, no mayo. Not a fan of mayo. A chicken burger with a little bit of cheese.
No food for me. No food for me, just beers.
Just beers for Ollie. Some
Jesus Christ.
Oh, anyway, got a chicken burger, some sort of processed chicken, some processed chicken chicken nuggets. What? Chicken fingers? I don't know. Either way, it tastes pretty good. We've both gone pretty big, but that is the only way you end a trip and end a season in Belgium. What the hell is that thing there? That looks like something that definitely doesn't look like what I think it is.
Little Willy rides. You don't know what it means.
We should be ashamed of ourselves. And just like that, €12.40 worth of Fritz has been absolutely demolished. Ollie didn't quite finish his, but good little feed there.